I guess because you're using your laptop.
It's my laptop, and I think the size of it has. I think there's a setting that like reduces everything to a little bit smaller. So I think that's probably.
Months spent making costumes is paying
off
at PAX for tens of thousands of video gamers.
Yeah, so
Martino hit the convention floor,
yeah,
meeting
look,
Aussie creators.
Exactly. I recently got sent a 17-inch
Rockstar flair.
laptop from
The orange glow of flames and fireworks bathed a sea of thousands, piling into packs, ready to go hands-on with the latest and greatest in gaming.
Why is it a big deal?
So Quadro is Nvidia's like work.
my favorite con of the year.
With decades of history from the humble pinball to virtual reality on shows, spending months and thousands of dollars to swap your eyes for a Cyberpunk laser face or hand sculpt Final Fantasy's Buster Sword.
This took me about 3 solid weeks.
Hello,
it's like 2 a.m.
everybody.
Is the benchmark for diehard
we
fans
have Chris
in
Hammy and
10-inch
Lewis.
heels.
Welcome,
How are
guys.
you standing in these right now?
Yeah, we know it's on. We know. We sort of kind of chat away and hopefully wait for everybody to show up and then actually start the show. So if you want to know a little bit more about how our week went, you tune in on time. Or at least we rushed to get on time this time. Yeah. So Casper, how was your week?
That's cosplay's rule.
Hey, it was pretty good. I am, you know what, it was intense, I say, because I have been so into The Last of Us Part 2, and it breaks my heart that the majority of the public have been flaming it to the ground.
Among the 18 to 24
Pretty
year olds.
bad, hey?
I'm actually like starting to understand why that is the case, and it has inspired me to actually put a review together, which I will upload.
It's a wholesome coming-of-age adventure. It's all about young Henry and his adopted mother, Saren.
Brendan Watts is one of 6 Australian developers being backed by Apple.
I think I've got
fledgling
desktop
heroes
play.
just
Sorry guys.
Do
There we go.
Cool.
I think that's what happened last time. We had
Oh, is this we sound like really drunk because there's double audio?
Yeah, double audio. So I think it should be fine now.
Cool.
What's the crap about it? Okay, yes. So
yes, that crap.
We've got a lot of news for you guys today. But can you let us know if it's fixed? Oh, thanks, Chris.
Yeah,
thanks, Michael.
Thank you.
Sorry. It was someone was playing in the background, and it's just we were actually I'm late. I'm really late. So I really want to get back to what you just talked about because I think I want to fish a little bit more about.
Oh, The Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to find out exactly what changed your mind. So what I'm just going to do, I'm going to turn off Steam because
you've got all these like pop-ups
notifications
flying in. It's like
friends, welcome to the State of the Beanstalk. It's been a crazy busy week for both of us. I've been bricking all day today, putting a post in to hold up my roof, and I literally got here to Casper's house. What, 22?
Yeah, 20 minutes ago.
5:30, 20 minutes ago. And we were actually going to use Casper's new camera. What model is that?
It's the Sony A6400.
And that's pretty much like a streamer's go-to camera. It's one of those primo. It has everything. So one of the things that makes it a streamer's camera is because you can leave it on and the power or the charging is actually plugged straight into the device rather than taking the battery out and into a charging thing. Obviously, it's 4K. And it has a flip-out screen, which is quite amazing. Yeah. We'd show you what it looks like,
but we'd probably break the whole stream doing so
because I couldn't find a stand, so I put it on. I put it on the bloody camera itself. Yep. So, here you go. Hammy just subbed to your channel.
Hey, thank you, Hammy. Really appreciate it. I hope we can enjoy some new games together as time goes on, and I hope that I may improve the quality of the channel because there's I'm still working on that. So yeah.
So okay, so with your channel, you've been streaming mostly
Last of Us Part 2 at the moment. Yeah.
How many hours are you in?
Well, I would say I am past the halfway mark. I would say probably 15, 16 hours deep now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. 60% through.
Jeez. Okay. And what has made you decide to do because you're usually games, so what made you decide to do a game review, which I think is a fair extension of what you do anyway.
And look, just depending on how this review will turn out will depend if I do any more in the future, but what has really triggered me was the reviews that had come out from Metacritic, and people have been bombing it and flaming it and giving it just extremely low scores to the point they're like, this is a 0, this is a 0. I'm like, this is a product that works well, and there is some merit to it because of the in-depth writing, the fact that it's almost flawless in the sense that there isn't any technical issues with the game.
No bugs.
Yeah, no bugs. Like when we were playing it day one, it worked well. Everything was fine. Yeah. Even the cutscenes is seamless from gameplay to cutscenes, and I truly believe that it's just the creativity that is being slammed here. Slandered. By the public.
So I'm really keen to check that out. And guys, if you want to see that, make sure to sub to Casper's channel. And I'll try to get the link in there. Let's talk about the news because I have so many tabs open. I was rushing to get them all opened.
I'm gonna bring it up on the TV.
Oh, is it gonna be easier for us to read or for you?
This small writing, man. I'm getting old.
Okay, so we've got NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3080. God.
Oh yes, 3080.
There is some leaks of some, I suppose results that have come out of some testing, and I'm really keen to talk about that. Then we have some iOS 14 stuff we want to talk about, and I think a lot of people saw it this week, and I made a video about it, but I'd like to add a little bit more to it. We also have, oh my god, I'm blocked.
Oh my god, you're blocked. Oh no.
Oh, what's the Forbes one? That was the Arkham Rocksteady. Do you remember what it was about?
Yeah, okay, so I can talk about that. So basically Rocksteady is supposedly working on Suicide Squad game.
Ooh. Okay, so we'll get back to that. Crash Bandicoot 4. Exciting, and we have... This one is probably going to be something that somebody mentioned in the chat that you heard the video talking about. Because autoplay videos on websites are absolutely horrible. The worst design in the world. In any case, we're going to talk about the video gaming industry in Australia and over the world.
Yeah, yes. And how it's impacting Australia.
And what's this? You have to tell me what this is.
Oh, this is... Okay, right. So there are rumors, basically there's a leak based on documentation that's been mentioned that there is a second Xbox Series X console.
Whoa. Okay.
In the making.
And we've got Cyberpunk news this week.
Yes, finally a bit more news, but sad about the delay, but it's looking good.
Yeah,
looking promising.
We'll talk about what was said and what people saw, because it was actually only journalists and we weren't involved because we're not really journalists.
Yeah.
This is the one with the AAA unsustainability of AAA games. We'll talk about that.
Sony chairman, or former Sony chairman, sorry.
Right. Okay, let's get into the show. Roll the... What do we call it? The intro thing. Hello. Welcome to State of the Beanstalk. Thank you very much for joining us. Let's start with what I think is a huge leak. Probably a leak that was meant to happen. I think they specifically released it.
Yeah. I think they're just making AMD sweat.
That's not where we want to go. We want to go... Hang on, I've got to change the Chrome bit.
What are you doing?
I showed the wrong screen. There we go. Fixed,
Yay.
friends. And, okay, so NVIDIA RTX 3080 destroys the RTX 2080 Ti, according to leaked documents. Now, or leaked benchmarks. Now, what it was a test on one of those benchmarking softwares, and it didn't actually say 3080. It didn't say that. It just said an unknown NVIDIA chip. And basically, at the end of the day, it's 20 to 30% faster than the 2080 Ti.
And that's just the 3080.
That's the 3080.
And that's not even the Ti, which will be the 3090.
Yeah, which sort of annoys me that they're sort of moving away. that they're moving away from it, but I think that's because of AMD.
Yes, AMD. Yeah.
Why do you? Okay, all right. Before I sort of say what I think, why do you think?
Why do I think they're doing it?
Yeah.
Well, I think when a lot of consumers enter the store and they see that the AMD has the higher second or the third number in there, you know, being a 90, it's like, oh, this must be like a product that is a bit stronger than the 80.
Yeah.
Whereas that's not really the case.
You reckon it's just the naming convention?
I think so. I think it may be the naming convention. And the fact that AMD has actually started off their series with the 5700 to be like, hey, we're 2 levels above you in our numbering system. You know, they just want to get one up, which it doesn't really make much sense because I think a lot of computer gamers and I think a lot of just computer enthusiasts are actually intelligent enough to be able to distinguish the products. They know so much more than people expect.
Whose granny is going to walk into a store and be like, hello, can I please get the best card for my grandson? And then they'll be like, here you go, here's a 380 Ti or 390 and it's 2,500 Australian dollars. Oh, is there a cheaper one? Yes, this one, AMD 3095. And it costs 1,000 Australian dollars. And then be like, oh, it's 5 better than the other one.
5%.
So I don't know, because the people who buy it, the people who are going to buy a I'm not used to saying the 380. The 380 are people who've already gone online.
3080.
3080.
Yeah.
Not 380.
Yeah.
No. There used to be a... No, they
that's way back.
No, they skipped 300. They had a 2060 and a 400 series, but not a 300 series.
Oh, okay.
They skipped the 300 series.
There's too many zeros now.
Yeah, I guess, look, what we're getting at is if you're going to go buy a graphics card right now, you've done your research, hopefully, I hope, and you know what you're getting and you know what budget and what you can get, because there is websites and YouTubers who go through, do the tests and stuff, benchmark it for you, and you pick what you want. Yeah. But you pick it knowing what you're picking. So the fact that they're trying to compete with words, I don't think that's it. I think it's literally to save the Ti or the Titan brand from being slower than the AMD card. I think they created a 3090 to protect themselves from having a Titan that's slower than the top-end AMD card.
You think that's possible? That could happen?
I think the fact that they created a 3090...
So they're actually sweating.
I don't think it's sweating.
I
don't think it's sweating because people who buy the Titan or used to be the Ti, not the Ti, but the Titan used to be bought by people who wanted to extend their E-peen.
Yeah,
enthusiasts, E-peen enthusiasts.
Yes,
the card was a huge waste of money. The the cost to performance, the dollar to performance was horrible on that.
Yeah.
The 1080 Ti, the 2080 Ti, or the 2080 Super, whatever it was always much better. And so, the RDNA 2 card. So their thinking is that the top end RDNA 2 card is going to be better than a Ti.
Yeah.
So they're removing that branding, creating a 3090 and saying, hey, no, the RDNA 2 card, that's going to match up with our top end, but it's still lower than our Titan cards over here.
Yeah.
That's my thinking.
That'll be a surprise if they're like, we got a 3090 and we have a Titan. It's like, just in case, they'll have that in their pocket.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's my thinking. Yeah.
Because, I mean, they're saying that the 6090 from AMD is supposed to be like an absolute monster.
Seriously?
Yeah, like a really powerful card.
So, you're due for a graphics upgrade.
A PC upgrade.
No. I don't think necessarily PC upgrade.
Oh, yeah. CPU's all good. Yeah.
So what would you do? Would you go for AMD or would you go for Nvidia still? What do you think is the difference now between the two companies? Because let's say both cards top end RDNA 2 is now able to compete with the 3080 and 3090 and maybe the Titan.
Yeah.
Maybe they've got something there. Let's say they're exactly similar. Maybe there's a price. I expect AMD to be a bit cheaper.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Now that we're getting into an area where there are diminishing returns with graphics cards, I think that you know, what's going to be the benefit of buying one or the other? It's like, oh, it's this one because I like the design. Like, will it get to that stage, or will it be just, you know, just really putting pressure on those prices in between each other?
It'll be price, I think, price to performance. But there's other things that NVIDIA still does, and that's, and I suppose now it's, you know, FreeSync, right? AMD has FreeSync, G-Sync for NVIDIA, and now G-Sync is possible to work on FreeSync monitors, so they're removing that sort of, it used to be like a pay to play sort of thing where you'd have to get an NVIDIA card to use with this G-Sync monitor. So that's not really it anymore. That used to be the case. Like, you'd get an NVIDIA card to use it with a G-Sync monitor. Now, not so much. Sorry. Hey, Jason. Welcome, mate. And Hammy's like, why don't you guys drink VB like real men?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, bro. Maybe next episode. We're working up to it.
Real men can only afford VB. We can't afford VB. So I think there's software. Software is a thing. Like, NVIDIA's got a lot of like ability to record gameplay, the desktop.
So you're saying the GPUs will have exclusives? Is that how they're gonna win over there?
Oh God,
it's got you thinking though, eh?
I hope to God that we don't get like game exclusives, which we do. We got DLSS is an NVIDIA exclusive, isn't it? Pretty sure it is. Oh, maybe. NVIDIA Hair works. If you play The Witcher without the lovely hair that...
Oh, you get the fancy hair.
You get the fancy hair. That's
the Pantene
thing.
Pro V ad going. Yeah. Wow.
So there is things that NVIDIA does to get developers on their side.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of cards, we have a question from The Beetle. What's a great 4K Ultra HD card?
Okay, what? Two questions to that. Are you meaning just to watch video or play back 4K UHD, or game in 4K UHD? Yeah, they do include free games with new graphics cards. So, Beetle, let us know what you meant by that, and hopefully we can have a quick chat about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Chris. Yeah, I mean, actually, when's the last time somebody got a graphics card and a free game? Because I can't remember that. Since I was in New Zealand when I bought a graphics card, I got a free game.
Really? Don't you still get free games? Like, I thought you got, like,
rarely.
With the RTX cards, you got Control. I thought those guys were like...
Oh, they did too. Yeah. Well, I never bought the 20 series, so...
Yeah, too expensive.
But because they did a super refresh, and then they... You know, the 2080 Ti came out, and the prices are ridiculous. So I'm expecting the prices to be much higher. All right, let's move on to...
What's next?
Oh, Shadow of Tomb Raider came with also with RTX.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, because actually, I'll be testing the RTX. God, I forgot. Not the CUDA. What's the thing I mentioned this morning? The laptop thing.
Yes, the Quadro.
Quadro, yes. The RTX Quadro with Shadow of Tomb Raider. I just can't think of anything else to do with it. So. Let's go on to the next one, and I think let's talk about the PlayStation 5.
Oh, yeah, the PS5 rolling off the factory. So sometime this week, we actually got to see there is a picture. If you go press the Start Now thing, Start Now, you'll be able to see that if you go to the right, oh, yeah, that's just the logo close up. But that's
a very logo, like...
Yeah. But you'll see like a guy holding a thing. Yeah, there you go. The supposed PlayStation 5 right there.
That's huge!
It's massive. Or that man is very small, but I don't think he is. And they're saying it's, I think 15 inches is supposed to be the height of the PS5, which I think translates to 37.5 centimeters or so. Which is...
Oh, that's like...
it's quite big. Like...
that's huge. 30 centimeters.
Big console, yeah. So that's what the future looks like. It looks big and square, rectangular. So
I like the reason I was excited about the logo. It's indented. Yeah. So it's not just printed on. It's part of the plastic.
It's like cut through.
Yeah, it's cut through. So I think that looks cool.
That looks expensive. Yeah.
And I find this really funny. He's like, yes, this is it. But it doesn't seem proud.
I know, he's like, it's massive, I know. He's like the look on his face.
I wonder if he's actually supposed to be, or allowed to be holding it. Maybe this is a photo, because you can see there's people next to him. So maybe it's like a lineup and everybody's holding like something they're proud of.
Oh, no, he's the only one holding something. And the other guys are like holding their own hands. They're kind of like, this is it. Can it be, Jason asked, can it be laid down? Yes, it can. We have seen pictures of that. And I think Sony has in their mind that, you know, not everyone will have like a space or a cabinet that is designed for it to be standing upright. And
who has a cabinet that you can stand up anything?
I don't know. Maybe if it's like custom made or something, but like seeing the past with all their consoles, apart from the very first one, PS1, you know, they've been standing up and they've been lying down as well. Like they've always had that history, so they're obviously going to honor that moving forward as well.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah, Chris. The revision of a small one will always happen. That's just a typical refresh to sell more consoles, and get it out to a wider market. Because once the first consoles go out to enthusiasts and everybody who buys them, that in itself creates a bit of marketing, because the next person is going to be like, oh, maybe I want to get one, and they'll get the latest one or the the one that comes out. So I think overall they just do it to try and refresh and give people a chance to buy more. Look, I don't know. The size of it doesn't really matter. It looks nice. It'd be cool to display.
Yeah.
But, I think a lot of people are pretty clear that it's going to be hard to try and display it when it's so large and people don't have cabinets that are made for it.
Yeah, it's so out there. But yeah, they'll obviously work it out and make it smaller somehow. A lot of them are saying that the form factor is to ensure that the heat dissipates appropriately.
Okay.
So the next PlayStation doesn't sound as loud as the PS4 Pro. The jet engine. And what actually happens is because the dust forms around the fans, and that's why it gets so loud. Like my PS4 Pro is quite new. Like I was very late to the current gen.
Yeah.
I got this like December last year, literally, the PS4 Pro. So it's still fairly quiet when it's gaming something as demanding as The Last of Us Part 2.
So was it quiet on that game, or was it?
Yeah, it was good.
Quiet. So what was a game that it just completely shredded on?
The God of War, for some reason. Like God of War is something where this thing just wants to blow up. Like
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It just can't seem to handle it.
I have God of War. I need to try it. If you tell me, comparably, the graphics, are they similar?
Gorgeous.
Both games?
I would say, same. I don't know, a little bit different. I mean, you get a lot more color in this, whereas The Last of Us 2, like the colors are a bit dampened, and there's like depression is like really taking its toll on you. But in the God of War, gorgeous, and I think they're just so
much going on.
Expansive. Yeah, like you'll be like on a boat, and there'll be like a snake the size of like a giant building that will just be towering over your boat, like that kind of stuff.
Not like, just box buildings though. You just sort of you don't have you have to animate things constantly.
Like so scope is a big thing of God of War.
Yeah,
like
that's just, maybe true.
Yeah.
We've got a comment from Chris. Chris says PS4 Pro is silent once you replace the hard drive with an SSD. The CPU add more. Well, it's just decent thermal paste. I did. Okay, so a buddy of mine did put an SSD in it, and he had to return it after a while because apparently it just died on him. I don't know if it was the SSD or something, but
I think he probably had bad luck because people have been doing that quite a bit actually.
What, adding SSDs?
Adding SSDs, to PS4s. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, I mean the mechanical drive is probably gets hotter and louder as well.
I have to say the Xbox One that I have is much louder compared to the PlayStation 4, which is, I have the original one, actually, same as Jason.
Oh, okay.
I got it on sale on Amazon. I got a voucher for $25, and then it was on sale for $198. So I put my Amazon voucher.
And then PS4?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I got it for 168 or whatever it was, 165. The VCR.
I think it's funny.
The Xbox is a VCR. It looks like one. It's like terrible. It's a box version. So, shall we? Let's move on to our next one because I want to get back to the Xbox chat in a moment.
Oh yeah.
Let's talk Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah, Crash Bandicoot. Now it has been a long time since we had Crash game, apart from like the remakes that we had recently of the trilogy and of the team racing. So it's cool. It's, you get to relive the nostalgia. And they're saying that this game is like triple the size of any of the original trilogy. Like with over 100 levels, that's what they're saying.
Okay.
So
is it still going to be quite linear where you sort of traverse the ground, or is it?
I want to say yes. Yeah, they're trying to bring back that platforming game, and when you actually play the original trilogy of Crash Bandicoot, you realize how difficult it is. It's like the Dark Souls for kids.
Yeah,
like
it's
back
not
in the day.
easy. Yeah. I remember playing it on PS1.
Same. I remember playing
so
the
good.
third one, Crash Warped in Time or something like that.
Oh, right, okay.
And it was so amazing. I was like, wow.
Did you have it on PlayStation 1 or 2?
Oh, my mate had it. I didn't have a PlayStation 1. So he brought it
Neither
over,
did I,
and I
yeah,
was like, oh
yeah.
my god, this thing's amazing. Yeah.
I always wanted a PlayStation 1, but my parents did get me as a Christmas gift the PlayStation 2 Slim years after it came out.
Oh, yes.
And I loved it. It was so good. And then I saved up to buy my PS3, the first one. But I kind of regret that, buying the PlayStation 3.
Probably you and many people. Like, the fact that games were coming out at such a slow pace, because, people couldn't create them fast enough. The developers struggled really on that platform.
It was difficult. Like, I spent 700 New Zealand dollars, and I got that through traveling through another country, so it was duty free. So there was a bit of, less tax.
Yeah.
And I got home, plugged it in, played a game that came with it, and I was like, oh god, I have to spend like another 100 New Zealand dollars to get a game.
Oh, New Zealand games were so expensive. And they're actually still expensive in
They're
New Zealand.
100. So Aussie dollar is 1-to-1 at the moment.
Pretty
with New
much,
Zealand.
yeah. It's like 3 or 4 cents off, yeah.
But the games still cost $100.
So expensive.
Like
Actually,
AAA.
that's a great segue to the Sean Layden remark from the ex-CEO from Sony.
Okay, let's do
wanna
that.
jump
Which one
into
was
that?
it one?
I think it's somewhere near the end of the list there.
This one here.
That one there, yeah. So Sean Layden, our big champ from the past,
Let me share that screen now.
he says that the current production model for AAA video games is unsustainable, as says the former Sony chairman. Now he's kind of right on the money here, because what is happening, and if we look at every game that's coming out, like the big AAA massive title, Red Dead 2, for instance, or even The Last of Us Part 2, like it's massive. You look at the cost in making a game like this, around $300 million, right?
It's the cost of a Marvel movie.
Of like a massive Marvel movie. And to think that if they keep on going to be expanding and making these worlds richer and bigger and more CGI movies within it, and then to actually get rid of all the bugs that they have in the games. And actually, Cyberpunk is a prime example of this right now, where they're having so many struggles. And I mean, the game has been in development we saw a trailer in 2012. So we know that it's already been in development.
We saw the trailer before Witcher 3 came out.
Before Witcher 3 came out. So this game was probably on track like 2 years, probably, at that stage. So it has been a decade. And the game is about to come out in a few months. So you imagine the amount of time, the amount of money that they've sunk into this game, and the amount of... how should I say, like research that they put into it as well. And the fact that they've got Keanu Reeves inside the game. That would be
They've just chucked him inside the game.
They've chucked him inside the game.
Take Keanu, bottle him up, scan him in, throw the bottle away.
I mean, and don't they have like a soundtrack or something from Lady Gaga? Like she's got like a cameo in it?
I don't know about that yet, because the rumors were there, but it has not been confirmed.
Oh,
but there's a band that was literally created for Cyberpunk to
make this Cyberpunk
Samurai.
music.
I think it's called Samurai. The back of the shirt or the jacket that he has, Samurai is the band. I just wanted to. I got a message here. What's a Console? Thanks for doing some awesome Aussie tech content. So I really appreciate your support. What's a Console? That's really cool. Thank you very much for joining us, and hope you enjoyed the stream.
Cool, man.
So one of the things is, if you want to make a great game, you need to put some effort into it, right?
So much money.
And you've got to pump money into it if you want to create... So I suppose there's two things. If you want to use existing, like let's say you're making a car game, you can make your own cars, but the beauty of it is having like a Ford or a Holden or a Ferrari or Porsche, right? You got to pay royalty to these companies.
Yeah,
so
you do.
It costs a lot to make a racing game.
Correct, yeah.
But if you're making something like, let's say, Last of Us, right?
Yeah.
You're not putting an iPhone brand. You're not putting a Samsung. You're not.
Actually, there is something in it. Okay, so interesting thing about The Last of Us Part 2. There is a moment where there's this girl playing a PSP.
Yeah.
Inside the game. And Sony were basically like, we had a lot of problems and troubles of putting a PSP into the game, even though it's their own product. Like, the licensing issues were so complicated and convoluted that
for a PSP,
putting their own product into a game where it's their first-party developer as well, which it's kind of funny to hear.
Oh, right, because Naughty Dog isn't Sony.
Naughty Dog isn't Sony, but they're a first-party developer for Sony. And imagine all the paperwork and stuff they had to go through to put an actual
They also put a PS3 in there too.
Oh, they did, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's funny that these things are actually a problem.
To add to that, a lot of people don't realize that old games right now can't even be re-released because of the licensing on the music or the sound effects in the game. So if you have a game, let's say from like the 90s, and you want to re-release it, even if you, let's say actually this happens with Nintendo. Let's say you're Nintendo and you've got all these great games from 20 years ago. Well, actually, no, it's be 30 years ago. Jesus. Yeah. Wow, we're old.
We're old.
If you have games like that, you can't, some of them cannot be re-released as like, let's say they make like a Nintendo Mini or something. Because the games themselves have music that the copyright or the rights to it have expired, and Nintendo can't reuse them or resell them anymore after the expiry date. So imagine how much money it would cost to get all that sounds again, or buy those, whatever it might be, to try and re-release it.
Oh my God.
There's all these things in game development that we're not even privy to. We're only sort of seeing it from quite a high way up.
That's
right.
It's
hard to sort of. It's hard to imagine how much effort and time and money, we can say, it's dollar value here, but there's a lot of hours, a lot of people, there's hundreds of thousands of people sometimes working on these games.
Yeah.
And they also create work for external freelancers, artists, music, like
consultants,
musicians, like,
oh yeah.
You know the whole thing about only 1% of all the artists actually make money?
Yeah.
The only way the 99% gets a bit of living money is through projects like this, and pumping money into video games, movies. There's all these different musicians who compose sounds, who compose little tunes and musics for them, or artists that create backdrops and stuff like that. These people would not have jobs and would not be able to follow their passion. God, I'm waving my hands a lot. They would not be able to follow their passion if it wasn't for projects like this. So the fact that he comes out and says it's unsustainable, it's bullshit. It has to be sustainable. I get it, but it has to be somehow sustainable because it sustains a lot of people. A lot of people depend on AAA games spending a lot of money. And people buy good AAA games.
They do, yeah.
Cyberpunk is going to sell really well. Just like Last of Us sold really well, even though it had crap reviews by the public. It still sold. People still bought it.
Well, yeah, I mean, but I think what he's getting to is like the expansion of time and the development, and and so because the interesting thing is video games, you're not actually working with resources per se. The costs are staffing. Like that's the only thing in video games. It's labor. It's all labor costs, right? And the amount of time that it's taking you to make some of these big games is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Like it's taking like a decade to make some AAA games.
Okay.
And, labor costs are not cheap because a lot of these games are being created within the westernized world, like in first world countries. You've got the United States, the UK, Australia,
right.
New
The
Zealand.
Average developer is, $100K.
And they earn a lot of money. Yeah, they earn like six-figure salaries. And then, obviously you keep going up. There's like $250,000 that the guys make, like the management and stuff.
Okay.
Like, they make big money. And then obviously, you got celebrities, you got all these people that you're consultants.
I think that's a recent thing. The celebrities thing. I think that's fairly recent.
Perhaps that is recent.
Because I remember Red Alert used to use like B-class
actors,
but now you've got
top tier like movie stars.
Yeah, whoever thought? Well, I mean, sorry. I would imagine Keanu would be involved in some sort of game in one way, shape, or form, but Cyberpunk out of all of them. That's insane. That's intense.
Like the most anticipated game for us. So what he's getting at is that perhaps it is time to go back to these 12 to 15 hour games, as opposed to having these like 50, 60 hour games, which he's saying it's not sustainable, and the fact that it's going to make him kind of boring. Like if you have to do a lot of repetitive tasks in games because you can't keep being creative and have new things in the game. Yeah, there's a lot of grinding involved in games. And people
I get that.
Public doesn't like that.
No, I appreciate that a game is not grindy, because if you're going to make me do something for the sake of doing, like think Fallout 76. It's grindy for the sake of making you waste your time, so your time starts to become more valuable than you spending a couple of dollars in the game to buy that item that you're grinding for.
But it's also a bad product. It's a faulty product.
It's a faulty product.
So many wrong things.
That's the other extreme, right? That's the other extreme. That's grind to force you to buy.
Yeah.
But there's all games that don't let you buy anything and then force you to grind, like Battlefield 20. This year, 2020, Battlefield 2025.
Yep.
The way it was created and the way you had to grind to get stuff was long, but not as excessive as EA's other game, which was Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Right.
That was extremely grindy to get any character, you know, to do anything, to I don't know, get the gun that you wanted, play as Luke, play as Darth Vader.
Get some costumes, yeah.
It was like 60 hours of gameplay to get to Darth Vader, or you could just buy it for $10.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? What are you going to do? People who play that game might not have enough time to just go, I want to play him, you know, buy it.
Look at that statement there. The average production cost of a AAA game before marketing is factored in is around $115 million, probably US dollars. And it takes 3 to 5 years in development.
I think that's good. I don't know what his problem is. What's his agenda here?
I think what's happening is, I think the agenda is that maybe we just kind of refine it and make it a bit smaller so it's palatable and it doesn't take as long and as much money. And because the fear is, obviously, for these big companies is, if your game goes out there and if it's not as, because you're banking so much on it now, if it's not a critical success, you're gonna go under. And there's that fear for all these companies.
It's make or break. Okay.
Yeah, it's make or break. It's like you've just spent $300 million and your game comes out and people are like, nah, it's all right. And then, you know, you've just lost so much money.
Okay, but see, to me, that's your fault. You did not spend your money well. You wasted $300 million on a game and it was crap.
Yeah.
So that you screwed up. You made a bad investment. You chose the wrong people to develop your game. You chose the wrong directors. You did it wrong, and you screwed your company over. But imagine if you've made 4 games in the past. They were all great games, and you start to hedge your bets. Bet your hedges. So you see, you get this sort of thing, and then you go, and then you make another game. It's great, it sells, and you make money. And then the next time you make it, and suddenly you crash, and the game's crap.
Yeah.
You could still potentially survive because you've had so much, and you shouldn't ever be doing one game at a time.
Is that like Bethesda with their Fallout 76?
Bethesda will be fine. 76 was, well, I actually think they didn't really put much time into it, but you know, Bethesda failed with that. We've got a question here. To read dialogue for a game, it's only 1 day in a studio. Even A-list celebrities don't earn more than thousands for their week. That's actually very true.
Really?
Artists who do voice work are usually freelancers. They get paid for a day's work, and it's maybe like, it's a lot for the freelancer. It's actually not much for the company themselves. And some, I saw a comment earlier here. Chris says, LucasArts games have been released on Steam, PS4, and Xbox One because they have in-house musicians and they made their own musics. So they compose their own music.
Cool. Yeah.
So they have then entirely the rights are contained within the company. They don't have to hire out. But when you get a freelancer musician, you buy the rights to that song. Yeah. So that's similar. But if you use an already existing song, you only get the rights for a certain period of time, unless you pay more, obviously.
Yeah.
But then you only get to use it. And I think one of the comments was also that's why Tony Hawk's Pro Skater only has 80% of the songs from the original, because they're all expired copyrights.
All these artists. Yeah, that's right. And I wonder what this is going to mean for future developers, because I mean, like small companies and all of that, because you know, they're trying to compete with these colossal, giant, mammoth monsters.
Yeah.
Corporate monsters. and they have to get really creative and like Minecraft is a perfect example. A game made on zero budget, like one guy, and all of a sudden it's become a giant success. So it's forcing us to be very creative and thoughtful in the process making of a game, not necessarily having all the resources in them.
Okay, so when you don't have resources, you budget, right?
Yeah.
You put it into the things that makes you unique, or the game unique, and sell.
Yeah.
Because you want to sell your game. You got to get some money back in. If you're a big budget company and AAA maker, you're just going to throw money in and make whatever you want.
And make it sparkle.
Yeah. But that's not to say smaller companies are going to have any issues with that, because they're not competing directly with these big AAAs, because they make games for a lot less, they cost less, and they take less to play. Yeah. That's the quicker. I'll play an indie game if I only have 10 hours to play in a week. I'm not going to pick up like The Last of Us, because you're 18, 16 hours in, was it?
Yeah, I'm probably 60% in.
Yeah, and you've got another 10 to go?
10 hours, I would say, yeah.
So do you think 25 hours is a...
Oh, I think 25 hours is nice. I think that's kind of like a sweet spot, where it's getting to the edge of like, I'm almost like, over this game, but the ending is almost there too. But it just depends how well they design it.
I think I did
as a single player game.
500 hours in Skyrim. Not Skyrim, Oblivion. 500? Yeah.
Oh, that's decent.
Yeah, and I only paid, I think, $60, $70 for the game.
Yeah.
So my time, I only spent, $60 divided by 500 or whatever. Yeah. So in your case, you paid how much? $60, $70?
Yeah, $68.
$68. So you paid about $2 an hour for your entertainment.
I think so, yeah. But then there's replayability. Like, you can actually play it again. And
you own the game in the sense of that you can replay it again. Do you think Okay, fine. Do you think games should be more expensive?
Well, that's what Sean's getting at. He thinks it's his fear that they may actually have to rise the price of games, because $60 has been around for a really, really long time now. And they're like, if we raise the price, is that going to actually alienate our customer base? Is that going to be at the same time like a double-edged sword? Like, are we going to lose the consumers? Are we going to lose business?
Let's ask Stream. What do you guys think? Do you think if a game went up by $10, so from 69 or 68, whatever we get now, to $80, an $80 game, but it promised 50 hours. Like Cyberpunk is 50 hours minimum. Because I heard it was like 100 with all the side quests.
Wow. Okay, that's gonna be
so 50 hours. Let's say 50 hours if you just sort of do a few things. Is that worth it? Is $80 worth 50 hours? I don't mind prices going up if you get more. I'm concerned that people will judge it more harshly if it's a more expensive game and starts changing the norm. You're going to have reviewers come along and go, usually we're used to $60 games. Well, this one was 80, and then, I got only 20 hours extra, but it was really, really generic content, and, they're going to judge it.
Maybe they're going to judge them harshly.
Yeah, I think that the value has to be there. That's why I think the model The Witcher 3 did was much better. The DLCs being sold for $20 on top made the whole experience a $100 experience. Yeah. In the first 2 years. Right? You paid $20 for the DLCs or $15. I think it was $39 or one of the big ones, the Heart one.
Oh, Heart of Stone.
Yeah, but now you can get the whole bundle for like $50.
Yeah.
But that's another way that you reuse some of the content you've already created to generate more content and sell it for more.
I think what they did well is they were doing their very best to value the customer. They were saying, okay, we're going to create this product. It's gonna, we're gonna put our blood, sweat, and tears into it. It's gonna be top tier content, but please buy it. Please don't copy it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So he says, what do you think? Does a trend of 15, 20-hour games selling for 30, 40 sound appealing, or do you prefer the 60? Well, obviously, I don't prefer. Yeah.
Or more if you include DLC.
Or more if you include. Oh, that's exactly what I said. Including DLCs.
Yeah. 60 is fine if it's got good content. If it entertains the hell out of me, then I'm good with that.
So we've got some comments. What's a Console said, as an EVE Online and WoW player, I understand why the average consumer hates to grind. For most people, it's just not fun. That's right. You gotta have a lot of time to grind.
And I think our expectations are so high now. Like with some of these single player experiences that we've had, like we've been wowed, you know? Like, whoa, look what's going on here. Oh my god, the visuals. Oh, this is creative. Oh, this is cool. Like, you know, we've been entertained.
Joe says, this is in the middle of the indie dev boom. More original, cheaper makes devs more money. Self-publishing. Ray Johnson says, no issue by me. In regards to, I'm guessing, extra spend on the game if it's bigger. Joe says, EA is making record profits, making the CEO a billionaire. Prices don't need to go up. Yeah, well, you know, CEOs earning millions or billions is one issue that I'm not going to touch on.
Yeah, that's another subject. That's another stream.
City Skylines is a great example. Yes. But Ray, I would like to add, City Skylines is a unique. It's actually very similar to Sims. Sims, if you were to buy every single expansions, I think it's in the thousands. I think thousands of dollars to get all the Sims expansions. You got the Sims base game.
Yeah.
And then you got hundreds of packs of like Party Pack, or like Irish Week Pack, or like City Pack, or like Police Station Pack, or like Wedding Pack. It's just these little things.
It's like the same thing, but with a different wrapper on it. Yeah,
that's right. And they're reusing the stuff. Jason says, I agree with Casper.
My favorite comment.
As long as it's worth the money, why not?
True.
Cool. Ray says, yes, it is. So I think, all in all, I don't mind paying more, but I'd like to say that spending more money on your game and making it bigger and better is not necessarily a bad thing. There'll be far fewer of these games, I think, over time.
Yeah.
Because only certain studios will be able to afford it.
Yeah, maybe what's happening is like it's turning into the movie industry where like you only go to the cinema to watch the greatest like giant, you know, multi-million billion-dollar movies that they make, like the Marvel movies.
Yeah,
those are the only thing that like is taking people into the cinemas now, or like a Star Wars movie.
That's
anything that Disney creates is worthwhile seeing in the cinema. Whereas like everything else, like the rom-coms and stuff like that, we wait till that's in the, you know, like on Netflix. Whereas like in the gaming world, we'll wait till that's in the bargain bin, basically. So the way that it's going to be interesting, and I'm psyched for the next gen consoles to see what kind of model they will have with pricing and with products. And I mean, because Miles Morales is an interesting one. That's not going to be a full-fledged
No, it's going to be
sequel.
half a game.
It's going to be, so maybe they'll charge us like the $40, whatever that
49
is here.
Australian would probably be,
50, 60 Australian, and I'm sure it's going to be a good game.
Joe says, I just looked it up. Devs for an EA game earn $100K a year. Beta testers QA earn $40. Is that really a lot? It's like a mechanical plumber. Well, hang on. $100K a year is actually a very good wage. In America or in America, right?
Oh, definitely in America.
That's
their
good.
minimum wage is like $7 an hour.
Yeah, so that's great. I would say in Australia, that's like a mechanical plumber, but that's because Australia has ridiculously high labor costs. Like we have very expensive minimum wage, and generally tradies charge a lot here. I don't. When I was living in New Zealand, it was half that to get a tradie to do some work. Like I'd go to a mechanic and get my car fixed for like $200 with parts and replacements and labor. Here it's like $1,000. Oh, because we had to change the oil. It's insane.
Here.
I guess the question is what mechanics I'm going to, but
Dodgy ones.
Water Console says, I suppose this whole conversation is why we see such a huge amount of the video game industry revenue being accounted for within mobile games, something like 60% of total revenue. Yes.
Whoa,
so
that's a lot of money.
Mobile gaming is an interesting one. The games themselves are predatory. The mobile gaming market
predatory?
is exactly what it means.
Okay.
Like lasers, jungle.
Oh, right. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Predator.
In the mud.
Okay, they're predatory.
Okay.
The whole concept of a mobile game is to get you hooked and to spend more money. It's like literally like a dollar here, a dollar there.
Gambling simulator.
All gambling.
That's right.
So and the way the mobile market works, it works on whales, and what I mean by whales is the people who spend the most amount of money. They're the ones willing to drop like $200 on a little mobile game.
Yeah.
And they do that for every game.
Well, that's the thing. There was an article about a guy who's like, I spent $37,000 on a mobile game. It's like, why? You could feed so many children in Africa.
You'd feed 37,000 children in America. I mean, in
America, yeah.
Well, you know what? Don't joke about that because there are starving kids in America. But
absolutely. Now more than ever.
Africa's like, guys, we've got food now. Like, we're all good.
Yeah.
What about America? All right, let's move on to
our list of topics.
Let's move on to our next topic. We have. Shall we do? What do we? Well, actually, we're talking about
While we're talking video game
While
industry,
we're talking video games, and
jobs booming in popularity.
Yeah, tell us a bit more about that, Casper.
All right. Well, there are fears that we, Australia, are being left behind in the video game industry. So if you just want to scroll in your little article thingy-majiggy. Yeah. The billion-dollar industry becoming one of the most desirable career paths for Australians, yet video game advocates fear the nation is at risk of being left behind. It doesn't support global trends. And I mean, look at that. 91% of Australian households have a device that play video games. Is that to say mobile phones?
Yeah, I was going to say that must account. Actually, hang on. Let me click on the link. I don't know if it's going to take me somewhere dodgy, but let me click on it. It's going to take me to... Well, that's not very good. It just takes me to plays video games, takes me to like a 9 News thing about video games.
Oh, yeah, at the very top.
What a bunch of...
Well designed.
That's not very...
You're stuck in a loop.
Yeah, thanks for that. I don't know if 91%. I don't know if that's true.
Yeah, but is that like consoles and computers? Like, I mean, anything can play a video game now. Like, your fridge
Samsung
can probably do that.
I was just gonna say Samsung fridge can play Doom. If it can play Doom, it's a video gaming device.
Oh, Tesla cars can play games now as well.
That's right.
Anything can play games. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, not a fair statistic. Like 60% of all statistics are fake anyway.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're onto something in the sense that, $24 billion by 2023. Like, the video game industry is worth so much money now, and we got esports that are taking over, and they're worth so much money now. Like, probably it's gonna get to a point where, like, Olympics, what's that? We're all about the esports. Like,
I think it's already happening, isn't it?
I feel like it is. Yeah. So much money is being pumped into it.
Twitch in the UK is going to be streaming Premier League, the soccer. Oh. And they're partnering with EA to generate fake crowds or digital crowds in the streams.
What?
That is something I never thought I'd say, but it's reality. And that's the UK though. They're crazy about their football,
soccer, and then what in the US?
No, UK.
UK football.
There's football in the UK and soccer in
US.
Soccer in the UK.
Soccer in the US.
What do you think the Australian government can do to
get with the times?
To get with the times.
Wow. Well, they probably need to remove some of the dinosaurs in Parliament. That's probably one thing. I mean, you look at the government. It's run by dinosaurs. That's why we're falling behind the countries. Like, they're like, yes, we need to mine coal. It's like, guys, we have these things called video games. Let's make money on these things now.
It's insane that the government also thinks the internet's just for watching cat videos. That's my view. I think, generally speaking, it's old men in there. God damn it, Jason. Where's my agree with Pat? Jesus.
Yeah, the Techman Pat show, where Casper's always right.
I don't mind that. I'm happy to be wrong. I just need to be proved wrong with statistics. I want to click on...
We need bar graphs.
I want to click on what their percentage thing here is, and I want to see some statistical actual... Like, where did they get these numbers from?
Yeah, and people with white coats and stuff, like scientists. Yeah.
If you guys want to see a funny video, go to the State of the Beanstalk YouTube channel. There's a
very scientific episode.
There's a scientific episode on there. If you want to have a laugh, it's a few minutes long, but it's good.
Yeah.
What was it called?
We apologize in advance.
What's it called?
I can't remember.
The teabag.
Something about teabagging.
Something about teabagging.
Yes.
I'm sure you'll
find it. Yeah. I lost my train of thought.
Okay, so esports. Going to be bringing $3 billion in just the next 3 years, and it's projected to reach $3 billion. I'm not surprised esports is going to get bigger and bigger. There's going to be every single new company that's making multiplayer games, like Tencent in China, it wants to make the next esport game because that's going to bring in a lot of money.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. Let's make a game that's like really, really well balanced so that we can get hundreds and thousands of people playing it, competing against each other.
Jason, I'm going to get you the link. And Casper, can you talk about the next topic, which will be...
what's the next topic?
Do you want to talk about the Xbox?
Oh, okay.
You talk Xbox and I'll just get the link.
There's a document recently that's leaked that's supposedly telling people that there is a second console that Xbox has in the making. And I think it's nothing news to us. We've heard that, the term Lockhart has been thrown around a lot. And it's supposed to be an Xbox that has somewhere between, I don't know, around 4 to 6 teraflops. So maybe half or a third of the power of the Xbox Series X. 1080p gaming, up to 1440p gaming. But the thing is that with that, they have the desire to really undercut Sony by creating a console that might be $299. If they do that, and if, Sony's console is probably going to be around $500, they could have both extremes of the spectrum, have the most premium console and the most budget console at the same time. So they're trying to kind of like pincer Sony with this tactic.
Do you think the battle between Sony and Microsoft is similar to AMD versus
Nvidia?
No, sorry.
It's a bit different because it's a bit unique. So like it's as if Nvidia was creating like weaker cards, but AMD is creating better cards, but like Nvidia's like the richer company. So it's like, it's weird because, okay, Sony's poorer than Microsoft for sure.
Are they?
Definitely.
Are they?
Absolutely. So
I gotta check this.
Microsoft,
Sony worth.
Yeah,
Sony's got a lot of fingers in a lot of pies.
Yeah. Okay, let's have a look. Sony worth. Let's look at what's their gross?
How many is it? Okay, so Sony's worth
market value
270 billion. Oh no. Here we go. Here's the answer. MS market value. Is that MS as in Microsoft?
Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, Microsoft.
This is literally the answer we want.
So 9 times. So Microsoft is 9 times the worth of Sony.
Okay, I have been now proven wrong. Casper was right.
Yeah.
I agree with Casper.
Yeah. Yeah.
So. Okay, but Microsoft has a lot more money to throw at it. Why aren't they making or getting all these crazy exclusives? Because Sony is leading the way in exclusives, even though their console is not as fast, technically speaking, on paper.
Yeah, a great question. And I think the answer lies in the fact that Microsoft has a lot of other projects where the revenue is much bigger, so the resources are poured in, in greater amounts. And the fact that, the Xbox is like diversification for them.
Right.
And they failed to realize that the secret ingredient with being successful with the gaming market is having your own exclusives. They thought, we just have this gaming platform, great box. If we have the
Everybody
better
also
box,
makes the games for us.
Yeah. If we have a better box, people will come and join us because better
That's
visuals.
That's the PC mindset.
Yeah. They had this PC mindset.
Yeah.
Whereas they were like, oh, hold on, Sony's got these games that people are liking, so let's do our thing as well. And then obviously they're 5 years behind or so. So now they have these developers. But now they need time to create the content.
Microsoft has taken... Do you think are they taking a better approach this time, or are they still... Because PlayStation 3 wasn't that great, and I think Xbox at the time was a bit of a... they had the whole Halo thing. But I can't name any other exclusives that Microsoft has. Like, do you think that this time around they'll actually succeed?
Well, maybe next month will give us a better idea, because Xbox is having another show in July. And that's supposed to be the response to the PlayStation 5, to say, like, hey, surprise, this is what we've got in store. Maybe they have all these games that have been in development that we don't know about. And then, Sony is supposed to have another response to that in August. Those are the rumors that, this is how the console war will wrap up, and then the consoles will release and we'll get on with our lives.
I think Microsoft's last event was pretty darn average.
Yeah, it was underwhelming. It was underwhelming.
And then, but see, it would be underwhelming even more if Sony did it first. If Sony did theirs and then Microsoft came out and did that, everyone would be like.
Whereas there was like a build up, so it's like, oh, our expectations were already pretty like low when we were watching the Sony one, and we're like, oh my god, this is great.
Yeah, so our expectations were low, so maybe that's why Sony got away with it.
Yeah.
So in this thing here, there's a leaked document that mentions Lockhart, which is actually explained here. So Project Scarlet was the name of Microsoft's original design of the Xbox Series Console X thing, and Anaconda and Lockhart is the 2 next-gen consoles.
Yes.
So the Anaconda Lockhart. Microsoft has etched an Anaconda snake into the Xbox Series X mainboard, but the company has never publicly discussed the Lockhart plans. So Lockhart is the name of the next console, and the snaky one is the one beforehand, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I suppose if they're making another console to be, are they making a budget version?
Yes,
so
they
the
want
budget
to make
version,
like
right.
a budget. I think it won't have a disc player. It should be like a digital only edition, and it's gonna be like way less powerful.
Right. Okay. Thanks, Jason. He now agrees with both of us.
Oh, hey.
Okay, let's move on to our next topic.
Yeah.
Let's talk Cyberpunk.
Ah, yes.
Okay. All right.
Customizable genitalia, guys. What do you say about that? This is the highlight of this.
I was gonna say, should we start with the genitalia? But I guess we are gonna start.
We are gonna start. All right. I don't know what to say about this. Thoughts. I mean, there's only 2 kinds of genitalia that I'm aware of.
Whoa. Can you say it? Is that PC?
Yeah.
Is that PC?
I'm gonna start a war here.
Do you just check the doors and windows are locked?
Yeah.
We don't want to get raided by
by woke people.
Get woke.
Yeah, with their pitchforks and flames.
What are your thoughts?
What does that mean? Does that mean you could have like a woman, person, thing, robot, whatever we are creating?
Yes.
With like different genitalia?
Yes,
like,
you could be a female-looking character with a big giant schlong.
Kielbasa.
Yeah. And you could be a man with a
lack of kielbasa.
Yeah. Okay, so the idea. So just to explain why they've done that, you could look like whoever you want, but deep down inside, marking yourself as female or male will make you then be either romantically possible, will change the way you can romantically involve yourself with certain characters, because unlike the whole Mass Effect series, you get to only involve yourself romantically with people who are actually interested in your genitalia. So that actually changes who you can actually be with.
Wait, but how will they know? So if you look like a chick and you have something different,
it literally is just that bit.
Oh, is it?
They don't care how you. Yeah, that's what I've read, is that the genitalia will mean that
will determine your
who's.
That's weird. Because like if it's like the gaming NPC, how would they know what's downstairs unless it's revealed?
I don't know. You might have a little tag saying, "Hi, my name is Jeff, and I have no kielbasa."
Yeah, I have no kielbasa. Well, that's a shame. Yeah.
So anyway, that's supposed to be the way the way it works. That's the point of it. It's not for the entertainment purposes, but there's also a breast size slider.
Oh, we need those. That's a 10 out of 10 from IGN already.
But it also has the kielbasa slider.
Oh, really?
Yes, so you can have a very tiny kielbasa. A little.
You can have a Tic Tac or a pepperoni.
Yeah. So,
right, okay.
I don't know. What are you gonna build?
What am I gonna build?
What are you gonna build?
I don't
tell the world.
I don't know.
Let's be simple. Are you gonna go with a female character with a giant kielbasa, or a male character
with no kielbasa? Because those are the only 2 options.
That's the only 2 options. The sliders are broken. It's either giant.
I don't know. See, the thing is, like, when I'm playing a video game, I kind of want it to be. Like, I either want it to be a representation of me, so I kind of want a character to look like...
Yeah.
I love the playback. Oh, God. Yeah. So I want to, it to be kind of like a representation of me, or maybe just completely flip it around and to be like, just different gender. Just flip the gender.
Like, well, I wanted to be a really strong, independent female.
In life or in Cyberpunk? Are we still on the game topic?
We're on the game. So I was keen for creating like a like what they actually had in the video. Like I thought it was really cool. Something like a Tomb Raider character, or like 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 classical,
or like the Control chick.
Deadly sort of thing. So I was keen on that, but now as sort of the more sort of, as you just said, maybe it should be a representation of myself, in the game, somehow try and replicate if I can get the face, the hair. Right. So I'm actually
like YouTube channel in your game as well.
I'm actually one of the things people always say is they spend ages trying to design their character in these RPG games. And I remember Oblivion, I was just like, click, 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 click. I don't like that face. Click, 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 click.
Oh my god, we're gonna spend hours just like creating a character.
It's like the stream. You're gonna stream for 4 hours. 3 of that is gonna be creating character creation.
And then the other hours like thinking of the name.
I had a comment here that made me crack up. So, but do the genitals have cold shrinkages? That's a question we're gonna have to answer. We're gonna check that for you. We're gonna do a Mythbusters of genitals in Cyberpunk.
Oh, really? Okay, I guess we're doing that.
But I wanted to remind people of the fact that some developer who was getting paid $100,000 US per year added physics for horse balls in Red Dead Redemption 2.
Wow. Can you imagine that? It's like, I never thought I'd be doing this in my life.
Yeah.
I mean, he did a really great job though, didn't he?
Oh, the balls were fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm still yet to play that game. Wow.
Yeah, you need to have a jam of it. Fable. Yes, Fable had there were romantic links in there. I think you could bed anyone and everyone. I think that was the thing. Somebody says, Jason says, I'm gay, so I'm glad.
I read that as well at the same time. The kielbasa slider.
Kielbasa sliders, yeah. Okay. All right, let's move on from genitalia and talk a little bit more.
Yes, this is how far we've fallen with this channel.
So Joe says, the chat's great today. Joe says, I don't think he was actually asked to do it. He just took the horse balls on himself.
Yeah, he's like, say no more. This looks like a job for me.
Yeah, sir, I need to go on a road trip. Why? I need to go find out how horse balls work in real life so I can design the physics. What do you need? Send me to a farm.
Yeah, send me to Texas.
I can imagine that conversation. It's like, how did you animate them so well? Well,
I got a story for you.
If it's a guy, then he'd be like, well, I know a bit about that. All right, we're really getting off topic here. Well, no, this is on topic.
What's the actual article again? Look,
I guess I can give you a quick summary of what it was. So, there was first of all, they released a new trailer. Cyberpunk new trailer showing a bit more of the story, a lot of snippets. But again, it's still the first half an hour to an hour of gameplay. It's still the first couple of missions, first mission.
Yes, they said it's like the prologue. It's still not revealing too much.
They're not revealing, but they revealed a little bit more about the gameplay, and those journalists got to play it. So I'm going to be summarizing what they said. So Gunplay feels good, apparently.
Okay.
Feels more like Rage, the game.
Right.
More, not so like GTA. Okay. You can get into any car and drive it, but sometimes it's hard to pull people out. You have to shoot them in the face to get them out.
They're still holding onto the steering wheel.
And driving isn't as good just yet. It feels a little bit heavy. The game is completely not like GTA, but there is police that will get on your back depending how bad of a thing you do. If you attack cops,
so like your notoriety level will depend on like...
Not really. It's like if they see you doing something, then you get taken down. But if they don't see you, not a problem. So you could probably, hide behind a wall, shoot some people.
That.
Finally.
Because like in GTA, it's like you look left, you look right, there's nobody around, and you like whack somebody on the head, and it's like 5 stars. Here comes the SWAT team. It's like, how? How did you do that?
Yeah. No, that's exactly right. So a couple of other things is that there is those net running things that you can connect up and to hack things. Apparently people said they were a bit tedious to work with. All games that have like this sort of side thing where you have to do it to figure it out is a bit, it's Like lockpicking in Skyrim was a bit annoying.
Oh, I remember that.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, and you break your locks. And,
yeah. And then I think what's the dogs movie? Not War Dogs, no. The digital hacky dog.
Oh yeah, Watch Dogs.
Watch Dogs had a bit of a hacking thing in the first one, which is also tedious. But apparently they might approve it. I don't know. We'll have to play it. There is also Mindscape or Mind something where you get to relive a person's memories. And that's like the investigations in...
Batman,
yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. Like where you actually... I saw that clip of that as well. Where the guy's like... it's like an out-of-body experience. And then you can like hack different cameras and stuff and like zoom in, zoom out, do like lighting and different layers and x-rays and that kind of stuff. That's cool.
The way I sort of read about it was that before doing a mission, you might do one of these memories as a side quest, so you know where to go in a building that you're supposed to like go in and shoot people, so you can dodge people and sort of get around it and get to the item that you need and get out.
Oh, great. Yeah.
But then you can just go guns blazing and just explore until you find what you're looking for. And the other thing that was really interesting was that sneak is actually very good, like as a good mechanic, and people chose to sneak more often than just goes gun blazing.
Because the CD Projekt Red said that you can go throughout the whole game and not even shoot a single person, which is kind of cool. It gives you that option. It's like,
I wonder how that's going to be treated in regards to like, if you do complete a mission that you don't kill anyone versus if you do, like, is there the same reward? Because remember, you might be picking items up from people that you down and so on. So, one other thing that, speaking of downing people, Prototype 2. I love that game. And 1. You needed to absorb people. You were like, it was like Spider-Man, right? In a giant city, but you're kind of like who's the black spider guy?
I remember now, Prototype 2.
Do you remember who's the... Venom.
Right.
He was kind of similar to Venom. He launches things and like grabs.
Yeah, he has the red gooey stuff.
Yeah, that's right.
And you fight like tanks and soldiers.
That's right. Yeah, so that was a really good game.
That was a cool game.
And that's exactly right. The memories are like that. What was I saying before?
I forget now.
Sneaking's
good.
Don't kill people. Yeah, so if you pick up if characters drop items, are you going to get less rewarded if you just sneakily do it and not kill anyone? Like that's,
okay.
Do you know what I mean? Like XP wise, like do you still get the
still get XP? Like maybe you get different XP if you're sneaky, and then different XP if you're like killing.
Yeah, but doesn't. Look, we'll figure that out. But I'm hoping that I'm hoping that you can still take characters down, not kill them, but knock them out or something. Which is that's what I was going to say. You can shoot them in the legs, and they'll just stumble around the ground, and you don't have to kill them.
Oh, I see. So you can incapacitate them.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
So the other thing that was mentioned, the story apparently. This is really interesting. This is actually, I think, is really cool.
Yeah.
Let's take any game. Let's say Last of Us. Right. When you start talking to someone, you lose control.
Yeah.
It's a movie.
Yeah, and you're quite passive. You're just watching.
Yeah, you're passive. In Cyberpunk, everything is completely user controlled. You go up to someone to talk to them, you still control and you still move around and you speak to them. If you walk away, conversation stops. You don't get locked into cutscenes.
What? Really?
Apparently there's 3 moments in the whole game where the camera gets taken away from you to point you at a certain item.
Oh, that's kind of strange.
You will only see what you actually choose to see. If you don't look in a certain direction, you might miss what's there. You are not going to be handheld through the game.
Oh, that's going to be a bit awkward for me then. I feel like people are going to be talking at me. I'm like, sorry, I'm just looking over here. Like, I'm just completely ignoring them. Like, and I'm going to miss out 90% of the game.
Part of the reason I hate games like that is because I get taken into this thing. I go, done something about, no, I stopped. I was just getting into that. I was just getting into like whatever I was doing, and now I have to stop, watch a movie about how they finish off the big jump. I'm specifically talking about like Horizon Zero Dawn. There's a few bits in the start where I'm like, what? Let me do that. Like, let me jump. Why do I need to see a movie or my character jumping? Let me do that. Let me play.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Like it's like you taking control away from me. It's not controlled by the user. So Cyberpunk is the opposite.
Wow. That's going to be interesting. I like it. I think I'm going to really like this.
Yeah. One last thing I'll add is that apparently the world is very lively. The night and day cycles are amazing. They last about 8 hours in game is 1 hour in the real world. And you can skip the night or day, so you can cycle through instantaneously. You don't have to go sleep somewhere. You just press and just...
Oh, like kind of like Witcher where he meditates. And it's
yeah,
like,
you don't have to do that anymore. You just go like you could be driving a car and then go switches to nighttime.
Oh, that's so weird.
Yeah, it'll be weird.
I don't know if I like that. I'm like, that takes out the realism of the environment where it's like I'm driving and you know what? I'm keen for some sun, and it's like boop.
Well, look, does it really matter? Like, there's going to be missions obviously that can only be done at nighttime. There's going to be things that can only be done in daytime, and there's going to be, and apparently the characters that walk around the streets are quite engaged. There were some comments about how some just sort of stand around in circles, but most had something to do. And there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of attention to detail. There's a lot of detail in each area.
Wow.
And the game's quite large.
This is going to be cool.
The starting positions of your 3 origin stories you take are completely different.
Oh, like this start you in a completely different situation.
No, area of the map.
Oh, area of the map as well.
So if you're a nomad, you start in the desert outside, and if you are the corporate, you start in some sort of corporate thing, and the other one is another part of the city.
Oh, that's cool. Wow. I like it. I think it's going to be very immersive. And then I'm probably going to be like creeping and following NPCs to see what they do throughout their day.
Yeah, like in GTA.
Yeah.
All right, look, last topic of the day. Let's talk quickly about iOS 14. It came out. I've got it on my phone. We got widgets.
You have an iPhone?
I have an iPhone.
Oh, okay, that's right.
We finally have widgets. Look at this. I have a weather widget now.
Oh, you have a widget. Well done,
I have a weather widget. I don't know if you can see that. So that's literally it. They took what Android has, copied it again, and now Apple is welcomed into 2015.
It's finally happened, guys. Apple has run out of ideas. Game over.
That's what it felt like. They've added a app drawer, so you now have all your apps like in a little drawer instead of having them all on each screen. Like, when you're on Android, you open up you've got your desktop, but you've also got like a hidden area with all the apps.
My God.
And 16:9 photography. Okay. Because Apple's phones only used to take 4:3, so nice square.
Yeah.
But if you set it to 16:9, as soon as you turn off the app, it goes back to 4:3. It doesn't stay.
Super.
Thanks, Apple.
They still got some things to iron out, I guess.
Yeah. All right. Well. Any other thoughts before we finish the stream off?
Yeah, Apple, get your crap together, man. Steve Jobs is turning in his grave.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Casper is Android. Let's go through some comments.
Yeah. Yes, I'm Android.
Joe says, it destroys immersion for me too. Yep, so I completely agree. And we've got, that's it. Trafalgar Law says uncensored. Joe says Apple almost in 2015, but resets to 2002. Yeah, that's right. It's like they tried. Oh, got too far, too scared. Go back.
Yeah. Let's go back to mommy.
It's embarrassing, but I have to say, as somebody who uses my phone for phone calls and messages and a lot of email, and not for anything else really, I'm gonna stick to Apple with that because I just pick it up and it works. I don't have issues, and I had an Android up until last year, and I always had issues with it.
Did you?
Yeah.
Wow. I have a Huawei, and it's awesome. I've had it for a couple of years.
How's your new best friend from China then?
It's so good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you talk often?
The CIA operative in China. Yeah, man. He's not very talkative. He lets me do most of the talking.
And on that bombshell, everyone, thank you very much for joining us on this stream, The State of the Beanstalk. I hope you enjoyed today's show. We had a few goofs, gags, and giggles.
And genitalias.
Kielbasa's. And we'll probably leave it at that. We were at an hour and 18 minutes. Wow,
marathon
stream. Where can we find you, Casper? Let me get that link up there.
Game with Casper. I will be streaming some more The Last of Us Part 2. I'm getting near the end, so I'm looking forward to see how it's going to roll out. And then I'm really excited to put a review together, and I would like to hear what you guys think about that game as well. If you have played it or are thinking about playing it, I want to hear what you have to think. Because there's a lot of reviews out there which I don't think have a lot of weight to it. They're just, they say they hate it, but they don't provide a reason why. Or,
no, that's right.
The justification isn't.
Yeah, or they don't even know.
Yeah, they don't even know what's wrong with it.
I hated it. Why?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because it was bad.
Because bad?
Okay.
Yeah. That's nice. So I guess, you know what? Let's save it for a stream after you make that video. I'd like to. Yeah. I'm gonna watch it and I'm gonna review your review.
Review my review. Excellent reviewception.
If you'd like to see more of these streams, make sure you're subscribed to the Techman Pat channel. We'll try and let everybody know when we go live. We try and do it 30 minutes beforehand, not 5 minutes like this time. So you guys should know. But thanks for joining us. Thanks for making it on time. And we'll catch you all next week for some really cool and fun news and discussions.
Thanks, guys.
Bye. 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 Bye, Miss American Pie, maybe. Chris says more streams.
More streams. Nice.